Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Football Now for the latest round of Premier League fixtures. We're going to give you a preview for all of the 10 games, run through our own predictions and talk you through the betting odds as well. As you can tell by the title of this video, focusing on Brighton versus Burnley. A struggle in Brighton right now. 3 o'clock on Saturday at the MX Stadium down on the south-east coast. Connor, before we get into the game itself, do you want to talk us through those betting odds which will be coming up now?
Yeah, well, it seems to be a common theme, actually. It seems most of the games that we've previewed, you're getting about that 1 to 2 mark for a team, and it's the same here. Brighton are obviously at the Amex. They are probably not doing as well as they would have hoped, especially given their starts of the season. But they are still sitting in 8th place, 1 point behind Newcastle. So, I don't really see that top 8 changing too much, to be honest with you. I think that's pretty much going to be what it is. But yeah, I mean, this game realistically is all about Brighton, isn't it? Burnley had that great win against Sheffield, 5-0. Sheffield did have a man down, but Burnley was still 2-0 up at that point. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's just L. It's it's not been good, is it? It's not been good for Burnley. And I don't see things changing. I don't see the form changing. I said before the start of the season, I don't think company sees Christmas. I mean, 7th of December now, so maybe you will see Christmas. But yeah, I just don't feel like he's adapted to the Premier League, and I feel like that win against Sheffield might have actually saved him his job, but I don't think it's going to change the fortunes. And I think Brighton, yeah, I mean, we've said they've not been playing as well as they would have hoped. They've had quite a few injury issues as well. Just looking at them, they've got Welbeck, Webster, March, Lamptey, Ansu Fati, Estupinian, and Sisco. All these players feasibly could start. So these aren't fringe players who are out injured. These are players who could get into that starting 11. But yeah, with that being said, I do think Brighton still come through this game. I don't think Burnley can offer too much resistance. So 13 to 25, when you consider that you're getting pretty similar odds for Man United to beat Bournemouth, I said that was a banana skin. I don't see this too much as a banana skin. I think it's going to boost it up quite a bit. So, yeah, I think that's okay. I'd be sticking it in mine.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of talk about the drop off in form for Brighton in the league. But when you do look at those injuries, and couple that with the fact that they're balancing it against their first season in Europe, I think you can let them off it. Like the fact that we're talking about Brighton, and for Brighton fans must be, surely they've got to be thinking this. We're talking about Brighton being in poor form when they're sat in 8th place.
That's crazy, isn't it? Mad.
Yeah, and it's like it just shows you the job that De Zerbi has done there, and they're enjoying a good campaign in Europe as well. Like, they must be pinching themselves still. Yeah, okay, look, they've had a difficult run of form. As of late, I say that they beat Brentford last night as a good home win, losing narrowly against Chelsea, and I don't think they had the strongest lineup there, because of the injuries. They've got a good win in the Europa League.
Because Chelsea had a red card for the second half, so that would have been disappointing. But
yeah, I'm sure that there would have been that. To be honest, I'm looking at their recent form, Brighton. It's not as bad as I thought it was. That Chelsea loss is their only loss since mid-October against City. There's been a few draws in there. I think that's maybe.
Well, that's it. Yeah, it's the draws. It's the dropping points with the draws that have accumulated, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, exactly what you've said. I mean, it shows how good Robert De Zerbi has done. That we are talking about them in poor form when the drawing matches and not winning them.
Yeah, exactly. And we've mentioned the injuries, and then for Burnley, wow. And look, I think we said heading into that game against Sheffield United, whoever loses, their job was probably going to go, and we were right. Heckingbottom did go. There was no way he could stay after a 5-0 away win to your relegation rivals. But Vincent Kompany, unless he can start putting a few results together now, he could be next, because like you said, it is all red outside of that. They lose away at Wolves in midweek. It's not an easy place to go, Wolves.
It's because it's bold.
Hey, that's because it's bold. There we go. I was waiting for Connor's first slandering of the follically challenged. But there we go. We got it. And our Brighton versus Burnley game. There you go. That's why he always wears a cap. He wants to hide. But yeah, Brighton, Burnley. Again, I'm looking at Burnley's fixtures coming up after this game. A home game against Everton on the 16th of December, a huge game there. Fulham away. Fulham have picked up some good results, especially at home as of lately. And then they host Liverpool, and then they travel to Aston Villa. I can't help but think that if Vincent Kompany is still in the job heading into the new year, I think he'd have done well. And if he is, I don't know if he'll last much longer than that. I've got to be honest with you. I've just got a feeling, unless they can pull up some trees with these next few games, because even at the turn of the year, they got Luton at home, and Luton, out of those 3 promoted sides, remarkably, are the side that I'm probably most optimistic about in terms of staying up, because they're showing something at least. These sides don't seem to be showing much to Sheffield and Burnley, and then they travel to Man City. And then they've got Fulham at home, and then Liverpool away again, then Arsenal at home. And I just can't see it ending well for Vincent Kompany there. He's done a good job there to get him back in the Premier League. He had a great season in the Championship, but it just hasn't. They haven't got going in the Premier League this season so far. They've got a couple of players injured. Lyle Foster and Jack Cork are out for this game, and there's also question marks over whether Cullen will return with a knock. They've got Connor's best mate on referee, Simon Hooper, so it'll be an interesting watch. But yeah, I
can't believe he's getting Premier League gigs. I mean, that City thing? It should be brushing on the carpet now, isn't it? And this is again. I'm not going. We've made a video about it. I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but it's like we don't talk about Anthony Taylor and Luis Diaz anymore, do we? I mean, that was glaring, and now it's just done. And that thing last week was so bad, and it's just going to be done again.
Yeah. Oh, the best thing that happened to Simon Hooper after what happened at the end of the City Tottenham game was that they had a few games coming up in 2 days' time. So everyone's focus shifted to that, and everyone was talking about what's happening at City. And it's one of those things. We're getting used to it now, aren't we, in the Premier League? Having said all that, we'll give our predictions for this game. I'm also going to back Brighton to do the job, Connor, I think, as well, in spite of their recent difficult form, remarkably. I'm going to go for a 2-0 home win for Brighton. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit wider than that. I think Brighton are going to show us what they're made of and what they can do. I don't think Burnley are going to be holding too much resistance. So yeah, I'm going to go 3-0. Brighton win.
Right, that concludes our preview side for Brighton versus Burnley. I think that's the final 3:00 game on Saturday afternoon. You can check out all the other videos we're doing over on the channel now at FootballNow, and also our affiliated channels. I'll put a link to all of those in the description. Having said all that, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.